I tend to do that. Hey guys, today is day 3 for our Book of Hearts. I've decided to call it Book of Hearts, so that's what we'll call it from now on. I've got my book here with all my little pieces in it that I want to work with, and I'm going to choose this one here to work on today. But I'm also going to choose this one. This is actually going to be a page in my book, but I don't want it to be as big as this page is. I want to cut it down to about right here, and that's because I want to use this section here. So I'm going to first take this piece here and cut this off, put this back in the book for a page we're going to create, and then use this for part of the page I want to create today. I've got my pieces separated. This is going back in the book, and we'll put this out of the way and I'll get set up and we'll get started on our page. Alright, the first thing I did was put my holes in my paper so I know what I'm working with. And one of the things I know I want to do is take this cardboard piece here, and what I did first was lightly sketched out a heart shape that I liked on the back. I want a long, skinny, funky looking heart. And so I did that first, but I'm not going to cut it out yet. I want to take a brush and put some water on my brush. And I want to, let me get this out of the way. I want to wet down the top part of my board here to make it easier to peel off, because I want to expose the corrugate underneath. I don't want my board flat. So I'm just wetting it down a little bit to help me. And once that's wet, I'm not going to do this all on camera because it'll take me a little bit of time, but I will tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start peeling back this cardboard here, the little top layer. It might happen on camera because it's coming off pretty easy. And I've just got to go through and get the rest of this little shell off. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. And once that's done, I will cut out my heart. And I'll do that before I come back. I'll get my heart cut out after all this is peeled off. So that's the next step. All right, got my heart cut out, and I saved this piece that I pulled off the back because I like it. I like the color. I might use it sometime during this project, so it's still drying. And then I saved these little pieces here just in case I wanted to use those. So those are scraps that are set off to the side. The next thing I want to do is I took a piece of book text and I tore it in an odd shape, and I want to layer that on my page here. But before we do that, I need to cover the back of this because it's plain, and I don't really want it plain. I want something on it. I want to use this as maybe a journaling spot or a place for a photo or just a pretty picture or a pretty piece of paper. So I'm going to find a piece of paper that I like to put on the back of this, and then we'll attach that before we do the front. All right, I've got this scrap piece of paper. It's scrap because I've been using it, so it's not a full sheet. It's a 12 by 12 sheet of paper that I really love in my scrap bin, so I'm going to use that. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to take my glue book here. It's an old magazine, and I can lay my stuff down on it and get glue on it. Doesn't matter. And I'm going to turn my page over, and I'm just going to put glue all over the back of my page. And then I'm going to put down this piece of paper. I'm going to trim my paper and repunch my holes. All right, now when you turn your paper over, you've got a pretty piece of paper back here instead of just a blank page. You know, if you want a blank page, that's fine, but I didn't. All right, so now I'm going to glue my book text on. And then I'm going to trim this off. If you're following along, before you do your complete trim, I decided to leave this edge here instead of trimming it off, and I'm going to fold it over toward the back. And it's not even, it's not straight. It's got a little bit of text here. You can see it's a little crooked. I'm okay with that. Not a big deal. By the time I get through with the back of it, it might not be noticeable anyway. I just thought it'd be cute. So now I have a little border back here. Okay, so that's done. So now I have a piece of fabric here, and this is a swatch, a fabric swatch from an upholstery company, and I really liked it, so I want to turn my page, get the glue out of my way. I want to put this down on here, and I'm going to leave some of my book text and of course my paper and glue it down, and I'm going to use wet glue for this one. All right, let's trim this off. Okay, and now I have a piece of trim, and I'm going to put that down right here, I believe, on the edge of this side. And I'm going to leave my edges here. I'm not going to trim that off. And again, I'll use wet glue for that. Okay, now we've gotten down to my heart that I cut out, and I've got that sitting right here. So I think what I want to do next is distress my heart, and I'm going to use Distress ink by Tim Holtz. It's the walnut stain. I always gravitate to the walnut stain because it's darker and it doesn't have a yellow tinge to it. It has a brown tinge. I like that, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go across the top. And if you want some staining in the crevices of your heart, you can just take a paintbrush with some water. And this is water soluble, so you could brush some in there. I'm not going to worry about it. And I want my heart placed about right there, I think. And while I'm at this, I'm going to go ahead and distress the edge of my papers here. And then I'm going to get some glue and glue this down. Okay. I want to also put another heart on top. And this is one of the hearts that I cut out of my scrap paper tags, my painty tags, my excess paint tags. Starter tags, there we go. The starter tags that I keep on my desk I told you about. And I've got a tag here. I'm going to go ahead and distress that a little bit too. Getting the strings a little bit. I'll tie this so it stays on here. Then I've got my button here, and I want to, let's see, I want to stitch the button onto this heart, and I want this tag to hang from it. So I need to get a piercing tool. I want to get my pokey tool. I'm going to make 2 holes in my heart here. And where do I want it? Do I want it center or do I want it off center? I might want it off center because I don't typically like it perfectly centered. Maybe up there, there. That looks good. So I'm just going to poke 2 holes in my heart and hope that I don't poke a hole in my finger because I tend to do that. Okay, here's what I did. You saw me poke the holes in the heart. I brought my tag strings up through the back of the heart on each side and then through my button, and then I tied a knot. And it'll come out, I mean, it'll move right now because it's not glued down, but I'm going to make it taut. Leave my little strings hanging, and I'm going to put glue on the back here and glue it down to this heart. Then I'll put something on this tag. I should have done that first, but you know, I never know what I'm going to do, so I just went ahead and did this. Should have known I was going to stamp on the heart or something, but I was too focused on this other thing I was doing, so that's okay. And then it's going to dangle there. And you can trim these little strings a little bit if you want to. Oops. There. Once it's dry, it won't move. So now I'm going to think about what I want to put on my little tag here while this is drying. Okay, remember that little piece I told you I saved from peeling off the paper from my heart? I'm gonna take a little piece of that paper. I already tore it off, and I'm gonna glue it to my tag here. And then the little piece of fabric that we put down right here. This one right here that has the upholstery. It's from the upholstery store. This actually. I cut out the little flower that was on it, and I'm going to put that on my tag too. Okay, I'm going to leave the back alone. You can journal on the back if you want to. And then I have one more thing I want to do, and I've got some words here. I'm going to pick out some words, and I'm going to cut them into individual words, and then put them right here on this heart. I have to decide what I want though. I chose the phrase, listen to your heart. It just seemed to suit, and I just cut it into individual words and glued it down. I took my pencil and went around it a little bit. It's hard to see against the background, but I didn't want to distress this too much. I like it bright, standing out a little bit. I don't know why, I just do. But I am not happy with this. I think I want something on here to bring out a little more color or something. I don't know. I haven't decided what yet, but I'll let you know in a second. But we're about done, and I'm not going to do anything to the back because I'm just going to leave it plain for the journal. All right, let me decide on this and then we'll be done. All right, I finished. Sorry I didn't do it with you, but I was testing out things I liked on the tag. And when I came across this, I loved it, and I didn't want to undo it and redo it again. I just took a piece of scrap out of my scrap drawer. It's like just a piece of ripped fabric that I stick in my little scrap bin. I keep all kinds of little things like this. And it was just long enough to wrap around once and tie it in a knot. And I just really like that. It brings the pink area here, down here, and I think it's really cute. So there's day 3. All right, guys, thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next video, and we'll do day 4, page 4, okay? All right, bye-bye.